Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, your host, Tisha Michelle. What's up, everybody? Oh my gosh. You know, around here, we like to start off with some gratitude, and boy, am I grateful. So in this present moment, I am grateful for my Florida trip. While I'm recording this, it's not actually over, but the first part is where I got to deep dive with a client, dope ass, powerful ass client for a VIP day. And then I got to have brunch with some of my other amazing clients that I've met this year. So I got to meet them in person, in real life, y'all, like for real. Even though like we've been vibing and connecting over, the internet, talking on the phone, and then through like Zoom classes and stuff like that. It's just something different about when you really connect with a person face to face. Now, while energy is everything, and I can be in Arizona and having a session with them in Florida and still being able to like connect on a soul to soul level and be in that space, because we're all in the energy, right? But when you get to actually meet them in person, it just, to me, I feel like it opens up so much more. So while we have gotten, talked about personal things and some with traumas and wounds and just their gifts and their wisdom and everything, when you are so far apart from a person, then you meet them and you're like, oh my gosh, this is real. This person is actually real, even though we know that. I don't know. It's just something just different. But for me, it hit a little more different because yes, I got to connect with them and meet them in, real life and in like the flesh and have these amazing conversations. And then I got to spend one-on-one time with each one of them as well. One of them asked me a question, and she said, and she was dropping me off at my Airbnb, and she said, so do you see yourself like doing this, like doing more of like just like traveling and like having these sessions and stuff? And I said, yeah. I said, this has actually always been the vision. So for me, it ended up hitting so different because I'm like, wait, like a year and a half ago, that's what I was just talking about. I was just talking about traveling the world, having, these heartfelt conversations, which was my Just a Conversation and brunch. And okay, I'm gonna pause and rewind. So once I told one of the ladies, Mia, who is the host of This Is 30s podcast, you guys gotta check that out. I love their energy that they bring over there. So yeah, so I told her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be coming to Florida, for a client, and she was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna let the ladies know. So she ended up planning a brunch for that Sunday. And it was cool. So then like she ends up sending me a flyer. She was like, hey, this is what I posted in the group. And I'm looking at, and it said like, brunch, with Tisha Michelle. And I was showing it to my youngest daughter, and she was like, And then she brought up something to me. She was like, your brunches. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you're right. So for those of you who don't know, I started this in Virginia, and it's called Just a Conversation and Brunch. And I said some of the best conversations happen over food and mimosas. And I was like, and I want to host these brunches, right? So I throw up and sell the tickets, and I host my very first brunch. But the whole concept of the brunch was we are just going to just talk and just no structure, no control, no certain topics, no in the order of this, and this. No, we're just going to flow and allow spirit to just talk through us, right? And that's it. And I had the first one, and it was amazing, guys. Like, we talked about everything. We talked about raising kids. We talked about trauma. We talked about social media. May even had a little bit of politics in there. We just talked about everything, and it just flowed. And the other part of this concept of with my Just a Conversation and Brunch was that we don't introduce ourselves. People do not need to know what you do, right? I didn't know that part until the end. There was a lawyer there. There was a social media like blogger, like, brand person. I had a therapist that was there. There was an NFL vet that was there. And I didn't want people to introduce themselves because sometimes you get intimidated. You start to judge people off of what they're saying. But if you just allowing people to talk and just allowing their energy itself to be felt and to connect and to vibe, I feel like it's so much better. Had people had known that one of the ladies there was a therapist, they probably wouldn't have opened up as much because they would have been like, oh my gosh, she's analyzing me, she's judging me, and right? Had somebody had known that one of the ladies there was a social media, blogger and brander, had they had known that, they might not have talked about how, so many people aren't showing up, authentic on social media or whatever like the case may have been. So I said after we're done eating and talking and vibing, it's over. If you guys have connected with someone and then you want to then find out, oh, like, what do you do? Or how do I connect with you? That's great. But we're not going to do that before. We're just going to be in this sense of just flowing and allowing these authentic conversations to happen, right? So I had that first one, and that was in Virginia. And then my second one that I did was in New York. That one was so powerful. And there were people in the room who learned something about someone that they have known for a really long time that they didn't know. And when they learned what it was, it changed their perspective of that person. And a lot of things in their life started to make sense. And it was just so beautiful. And that was the vision and the idea of having these brunches. So then I had another brunch, and then I ended up moving to Arizona. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start back my Just a Conversation and Brunch. And then COVID hit. And it was like, skirt. No, you're not. Not right now. So I was like, man, I'm bummed out. But then I said, you know what? We're going to take this virtually. So I did 2 of them, and I did them virtually, and people had their drinks, and we did the same thing. And then there were some tears and there was some cry. And it was just the beautiful vision. And probably about a month or so ago, I was like, I'm ready to bring these brunches back. Like, I'm ready for this, in person, like just contact, and I want to have these brunches again. So then, fast forward to when she sends me the flyer, and my daughter said something about it, and I was like, oh my God, you're right, I'm about to have the brunch. Oh my God. So while it wasn't that I planned to say, oh, let's do a brunch and it's going to be just a conversation and brunch, that is what happened. And it was so beautiful. So when she asked me that question, was like, do you see yourself doing this, like traveling and doing it? And I said, yeah. I said, that's been the vision. That's always been the vision, to go, and show up and do this, internal, deep, soul diving work with, a client, or have like the retreat. And then one of the days for wherever state I'm in, having a brunch, with, 8 people, and just having these conversations. And then boom, I'm into another state. Then boom, I'm into another state. So with this visit here, in Florida, and again, at the time of me recording this, I'm only on the first part because I'm getting ready to go to Miami now to be with another amazing soul that we get to just vibe, meet for real in person, but deep dive into some, some things as well. I was like, damn, this hit different. I'm like, I had my VIP client. I had brunch. It was 6 of us, we had brunch. And then I had individual time with all of them except for one. And I was like, this is it. I talked about this, traveling the world, having these heartfelt conversations, reminding people who the fuck that they are, their magic and their power, and really just being in that sense of just flow and allowing, spirit to just move through me and move through other people, and just, yeah, like that's been the vision. So to have the experience now, and because what had been happening was my clients and the brunches were in a state that I lived in, which was Virginia, and then New York, that's where all my family is and stuff. So that's also like home. So it had been there, and then back a brunch in like Virginia. And then, while I am connecting and having heartfelt conversations with clients all over the world, even in the Philippines, and I have clients in Canada, working with them all virtually. So it still put me in that sense of connecting and having these heartfelt conversations all over the world. But the true vision was in person, right? So now here I am in Florida doing that. And I said, wow, I did that. I did that. And for me, and I want you guys to maybe even think of this as well, where I'm looking at versus just writing down and planning everything that I want to do, and this is what my goal is, and I need to hit this and that. I'm like, you know what? I have this vision of these things that I want to bring into fruition, but I'm really seeking the clarity through the actual experience, right? So while my vision was I want to travel the world and I want to have these punches, I want to do this and that is all great. And then I got to have the experience. And when I had the experience here, like I just sat there and I said, yeah, this is it. This is what I truly desire to do. And that sealed the deal from having the actual experience, right? And I love it, right? So I am bursting with gratitude because I got a sense of so much clarity. Now, while I was like, oh, I want to release this part of my business, I want to release this part, well, I'm not really sure, and all those things, you know, you have that 1 foot in and that 1 foot out, and then you're wondering why you're so confused because the universe is like, heifer, you're putting confusion out, so we're going to give you that shit right back, right? And, you know, so I'd had some, you know, I don't know what to, I'm not really sure what to do and everything. And then you just have this experience. And that's why experiences are so important. It is so important for you to try new things, right? You know, it's important to say yes when you probably say no. And before you be like, wait a minute, you said da da da. When I say that, meaning there's something that, you know, an opportunity that's being offered to you, but because of fear, you say no. So you might be afraid, but say yes anyway. Have that experience so that after you have that experience, you can say, I don't like that shit. Or like, oh my God, that was an amazing experience and I want to have that again. Or you say, you know what? That's an experience I don't ever want to have. Okay? Because clarity comes from taking action, right? So just having this experience, I'm like, yes, this is it. This is what my heart wants. I love this. I love working with people one-on-one, but it's in a different way. Like before I said, you know what? I'm going to, at some point soon, I'm going to stop doing one-on-one readings, and I'll probably just do them maybe once or twice a year. But I do love working with people one-on-one, but it's from a deep dive. And I was like, okay, I got that clarity. So I know how to pivot and how to embrace and how to change the way that I want to show up in the world, to use my gifts to be able to help humanity, right? And to help the collective. I know what that looks like now, and it feels good, and it's through that experience. So again, I have so much gratitude right now. But guess what? It's your turn. In this present moment, what are you guys grateful for, right? So let's get centered. And when I say get centered, you know, let's remove some of the chaos and all the noise and everything, and, you know, get into a nice little comfy spot if you're able to. If you're driving, don't you dare do this. Don't be like Tisha said for me to close my eyes. So I want you guys to just close your eyes, right? And just take a nice deep breath. And I just want you to breathe in through your nose and just let it out through your mouth. You might start to feel like, you know, your shoulders got a little light, right? And doesn't that feel good? You can just be holding on to so much tension in your body, and you feel like you just have to go, go, go. You don't have to go at all. You just need to just take a nice quick 2 minutes or 1 minute, you know, break to just get back connected and bring it back into your body. So let's take another deep breath in through your nose and just out through your mouth. Another nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Yes, it's so important, guys. And it's easy to do. It's quick. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. Just check back into your body. You know, you can do this just as a regular practice. Some people, you know, I'll just do it if I'm like stressed, and that's fine. Whatever you want to do, whatever works, rock out with it. But just really incorporate it into your life where you just step away from everything and you just say, you know what? I'm disconnecting from the world so I can reconnect with myself, right? And, you know, just dip off somewhere in your car, in your closet, in your bedroom, whatever the case may be, and just take some nice deep breaths, just breathing in through your nose, just feeling that, you know, and then just breathing out your mouth, right? And start to move some of that tension that you may have, like in your body, that you're just holding on, some of the burdens, you know, just the stressors and just the chaos and the things that you feel like you should be doing or should not be doing, like you're holding it into your body. Release that shit. Release it. And once you start getting like, what is the word? Like accustomed to it? I don't know. Make it a habit. I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but I guess you guys get it. But once you start doing it more than once and stuff, you're going to be like fiending for it, fiending for just that quick alone time and just connecting back in with your body, because it's going to make so much of a difference on your health, like your mind, how you show up for yourself, how you show up for the world, because you're saying, you know what, this shit that's going on right now is temporary, and I'm not going to lose myself in that sense. So I'm going to step away and I'm going to reconnect to myself. Right. So in this present moment, what are you guys grateful for? Share, 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 share. I would love for you to share with me. You can, leave me a review, or you can email me or send me a message on, on Instagram at Mindset Slayer. I love when you guys tell me I'll just like randomly get like a DM and it'll say like, hey, I was just listening to your podcast. This is what I'm grateful for. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, it's so important to just like express like your gratitude. So what are you guys grateful for? Like, you could say it in your head. If you might be journaling, right? You might use this opportunity, to listen to my podcast and just do journaling, and that's where you get your journaling in at, right? And that's great, as well. You can scream it out, loud. You might have one thing, you might have two things, you might have a whole list of things. Like, whatever it is that you are grateful for right now, like, express it. It's yours, right? It's yours. So I wanted to kind of really talk today just about really just being you. And I know you're like, okay, what does that even mean? Like, being you, like, what you about to talk about? It is so easy to get caught up in what everybody else wants, or what everybody else thinks, or what everybody else thinks that you should do or you shouldn't be doing. And I think it's important for us to be ourselves. But a lot of people don't know who they are, because they are been conditioned and taught so much that they don't know that this belief is theirs, or if this belief belongs to someone else. So I wanted to just like suggest to you guys, scan your life. Do a nice, not even a quick one, like really sit back and scan your life. Think about where you right now have the most discomfort. Where do you feel like you stress the most at? And it could be one area of your life. It could be relationships. It could be finances. It could be career. It could be friendships, right? It could be health. I mean, whatever area, might be an area that I didn't even say, but really scan your life. I like to say, write this stuff down too and think about it and say, you know what? I'm having so much difficulty in my, all right, which one? Okay, Spirit, which one we want to give a good example of that's going to resonate with the most people that are listening? Let's say friendships, right? So say you feel like you are struggling. You don't have any, like, I don't have any friends, or, or whatever the case may be, right? And if you feel like you're struggling in that area, I want you to scan. What are you struggling about? How are you feeling, right? How are you feeling when it comes to friendships? And these can be like your actual friends. It could be like the people at work, the people you've met on social media, whatever you call like your friends and your friendships and stuff. And if you're struggling in that area, scan it and ask yourself, say, how do I feel? Do you feel like you're less than? Do you feel like, okay, well, in these friendships, like, it's like everybody around me is doing so much better than me. Like, why am I a part of this? Or I'm doing so much better than everyone because everyone's like complaining about this stuff and I'm just living this amazing life, but it's making me feel some type of way. Like, scan it. Scan that and be very honest with like those feelings and stuff, and really just come to that place of just checking in with yourself to say like, okay, these are my feelings and these are really they're important because they're mine. But then go a little bit further and say, well, why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel like, I'm not a part of this group? Because everybody seems to have their shit together, but I don't, and it's like they're looking down on me. Like, okay, are they looking down on you? Or are you looking down on yourself? How is it that you feel about yourself, right? How is it that you're looking at this group of people and it's like, man, this person has this house and this person, is married and has a family and this person has this and I'm just still don't even know what the fuck I'm going to eat in the next 2 hours. And you start to feel like an outcast, and you start to, judge yourself in that sense. And then you're like, well, I need to get some new friends, or I need to be around some like people and stuff. And it's like, okay, so are you running? And are you hiding from yourself and then projecting it out into the relationship with like these friends, and stuff? So I think it's so important for us to be ourselves, but we have to discover who we are. And I feel like one of the best ways to discover who we are is to start scanning our life and looking into the different aspects of our life and acknowledging and saying, I am this or whatever. I like to say a part of me feels like this. A part of me feels like I don't have my shit together and everybody around me does. And I feel like they're looking down upon me. Well, they're your feelings and nobody can make you feel any way because they're your feelings. You're choosing to feel like that, right? So it's what you're thinking about yourself, right? But what we end up doing sometimes is we project it onto the other people and say like, yeah, they're looking down on me, because you want to push it off onto someone else versus taking the responsibility for yourself and say, whoa, they ain't making me feel no way. I feel like this because they're my feelings. I control these feelings, not someone else. So when we're scanning our life and we're looking into that sense and we say, okay, well, in actuality, yeah, I might not have my shit together, but I'm super happy that I just, did ... But I don't feel like I can express it because what I just came up with is nowhere near what they have and what they have going on. And in that sense, well, that's not you being you. If you are proud of something or you are excited about it, who's to say that it's not on the same level as another person? Because who gives that meaning, right? Who gives that meaning? You do in that person. So express it. Be yourself. Express it, right? Express how it is that you're feeling. In that sense, if you're excited about something and you just got this nice win, express that shit. Be yourself. Also, when you start looking and you start judging your life based off of all the other people that are around you or what you're seeing on social media even, is that a life that you even want? Is that a life that you want, or is that a life that's been put into your head because that's what society says? Society says you should have this, 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 and this, and by this age. And then there's people around you that have that. So now it's for you, it's validated. So now you feel a certain way, and now you feel like shit, and you're striving to get those things. But is that even what you fucking want? So scan your life, scan those areas, and look at it to see, is this what I even want? Is this my belief, or is this somebody else's belief? And I am sitting here trying to paint a picture of my life based off of a picture that was shown to me versus looking at it as a blank canvas and to say, oh shit, this shit is blank. Oh, I get to create whatever it is that I want? Hell yeah. I'm about to create a dope ass life that I want based off of my vision versus being based off of someone giving you a canvas with this picture that's already painted and now you have to duplicate that. That's not being you. Like, that's not being you at all. Being you is stepping back and looking at that canvas and saying that canvas is fucking blank and I'm about to paint the shit out of this because this is the life that I want. This is how I feel. This is what's on my heart. And that might be something that's never been done before. And don't be afraid of that. That's innovative, right? That's being you. That's showing up in the world the way that you were designed to show up in the world and not being, showing up in the world like everybody else, right? So what I have been noticing this past 2 weeks, right? That a lot of people just through conversations, some have just been some just regular conversations, and then some have just been through clients and stuff, is like they are literally duplicating a painting that's been shown to them through the world for their life. And they are struggling in areas. And when I say struggling in areas, like they're conflicted, right? People are so conflicted. It's like that 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? And the reason being is because they're fighting against being themselves. Because a part of themselves is not even in the world of the things that they want to do and the desires that they want to have and the ideas. It's never been done before. So in their mind, they feel like, well, it's not supposed to be here and it can't be here. And I'm like, no, that's given to you for a reason. So don't be afraid to do something that hasn't been done before. You might be doing something that's never been done before in your family. That's cool too. Do that shit. Really just be yourself. And the thing is what is it that you are resisting the most? What in the different parts of your life, like what are you resisting? Do that shit, right? Clarity comes from taking action, right? So you get to start showing up. And then like when you're resisting something or even in that place of like surrender, right? And you say, okay, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. Okay. When you push through and you do it, a little part of that canvas starts to be colored in. And then you keep showing up again and you keep showing up again. And there's another part on the canvas that's filled. There's some purple there. And then there's some blue over here. Oh, and I just showed up and I just did this and I just spoke up for myself. Oh, there's another color. Holy shit. I just set boundaries with my mother. I just set boundaries with a friend or a coworker. Like, holy shit, I just set some boundaries. Spot here, spot there. And then you get to this point and your canvas is completely covered. And it's this beautiful picture. And you just created an amazing canvas, which is a reflection of your life by just being yourself. And now that this canvas is filled, does that mean that's it? No. The next day, I said, you know what? I'm back to a blank canvas and I get to do it again because I'm evolving and I'm growing. And now I'm going to another level. And now I'm experiencing new things and I want to experience new things. And now I have new desires. Here it is, 5 years later. And those desires that I had, I took it from nothing and I brought it into something. And I have this amazing life, this amazing canvas. Guess what? I've evolved. I've grown. I've proven to myself that I'm unique. There's only one me and I can have the things that I want. I can live the life on my terms. I get to co-create with my reality with the universe. And I just woke up one day and I said, oh my God, here's another blank canvas. And now I get to show up even more. And then there's another spot that's there. There's another spot that's there. And this is how we keep uncovering and getting to who we truly are at the core, which allows us to operate from pure love. So don't be afraid to be yourself. And don't be afraid to admit that you don't know who you are. Because really and truly, you don't remember, right? So then you want to start unpacking different things. And the way you can start right now is just scan your life. Grab a piece of paper if you want. And right at the top, my career. Scan it. What are all the things that you've done in your life? Do you have a whole bunch of jobs because you couldn't keep a job, but people say you need some stability and it's stuff? And really what it was, you were doing things that just drained your soul. Nothing was wrong with you. You were just resisting what you truly wanted to do because what? No one in your family's ever done that. People said you have to have a degree, you have to have experience. Nah, fuck that. You don't have to have no degree. Experience is the greatest teacher. Create your own lane. Create your own lane. So I never call myself a therapist. Right? But most of my clients be like, gosh, this is like therapy. This is so much better than therapy. It's like, you're my therapist and all. I'm not marketing myself as a therapist because in the world, in a sense, I can't be like, oh, I'm a licensed therapist, right? Because I don't have a license in that sense. But therapy is, providing that, oomph to that person, right? But just because I'm not a licensed therapist does not mean that I can't help people, right? So some people in that sense is like, oh, I would love to, and I know that I have it, but I'm not a therapist, so I can't do that. I'm not a therapist. I don't have a license. I don't have a degree for that. Create your own lane. I might not have a degree to say that I'm a licensed clinical therapist, whatever that shit is, but I've had a whole lot of fucking experience, from an early age until now. And I also know that I have a gift that was given to me through wherever you say God, universe, wherever you're connected to on that higher power, that makes me me. And I'm not afraid to step out there and say, yeah, I got you. I got you. I can help you make sense of that. I can show you another way. I can get to the root of what is going on with you, right? But I'm not a licensed therapist. But that's not going to hold me back because that's okay. I don't have to fall into it. And you don't have to fall into what the, patriarchy says, oh, you have to have this in order to do this. Where you have people who will go to school and walk out of school with their degree and never experience what they're about to teach you. And I'm not to knock and judge anybody on this sense. This is just to give you an example to just show you you can create a whole practice in something and not have an actual degree because you're not operating out of the scope of something that's going to get you in trouble and have you go to jail and get arrested. It's like, no, I'm teaching you from experience because you don't have to have that title to say, I am a licensed clinical therapist and now here I am. I don't have that. So I don't even have that degree, that paper to back that up, but I have this experience. No, I don't have to call myself that. I can call myself whatever I want. You can call yourself whatever it is you want. So whatever it is, that gift and that skill that you have, show up in the world the way that you want to show up in the world. You don't have to go and look and say, well, who else is doing this? How are they doing this? How are they doing that? Because when you do that, you cloud your own judgment. You cloud your own creativity. You don't even know if the vision is yours. It could be belonging to somebody else because now you're looking on Instagram and you're just like, well, let me see, how many other people, have a flower shop. Let me see how they're doing their flower shop. Okay, that's cool. Well, let me look at this person. Let me look at this person. And now you're trying to form your flower shop. And they ain't even your visions. They ain't even your thoughts. They are so clouded by everything else because you feel like I have to look and I have to find somebody else that's doing this so that I can do it. And then I'll just switch it up. And again, I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just saying trust yourself, because you guys are fucking powerful and creative. And you got some visions that's never even been here, but they're meant to be here. They're meant to be in the world to help, shift consciousness of like humanity and to bring more beauty into the world and bringing it in a different way. And that's what we're all getting ready to go into, just as a collective. Shit's about to change, guys. More people are about to start showing up exactly who the fuck they are. Systems are getting ready to be destroyed. It's already in the process anyway. Things are going to crumble and come down. And a lot more people are going to feel even more comfortable showing up in the world the way that they were meant and designed to be. So I want each and every one of you guys to just be yourself. Like, be yourself. Uncover that shit. Scan your life. Look at where you are resisting the most and just say, fuck it. I surrender. I give up. Universe, clearly you know more than me right now. So I'm going to step back and I'm just going to say, I surrender. Do your thing and watch how beautiful things start to unfold. So go out there and create some dope ass canvases, creating the life that you truly want. Not the life that everybody else says that you should have. You don't even fucking want that shit, but you feel like I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. No, you're supposed to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And the more that you do that, the more other people will too. They'll be like, oh, she's just living her life on her own terms. I guess we can do that, right? And it inspires and it encourages other people and stuff too. So I love you guys. I'm over here just basking in so much gratitude. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to create the fuck out of some canvases on my own terms. And so are you guys. So until next time, I am sending you guys so much love and light and most importantly, peace. And when I say peace, because we can be so caught up in so many of these, I should this, I shouldn't have done that it becomes so chaotic that we can't even really hear ourselves. So I want to send you guys so much. I'm sending blue light and I'm sending you so much peace. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to #certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the #certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.